Okay, let's jump straight into this explainer. I want you to imagine, just for a second, that you're an animator. You're standing in front of a giant blank whiteboard, marker in hand, and you are getting ready to decode a secret language. It's a language you've actually been seeing your entire life. Today we're exploring exactly that in the language of cartoon worlds. It's this absolutely brilliant system of communication, and I promise, once you kind of see how it works, you'll never look at animation the same way again.
So think about this. Why do cartoons feel so right when absolutely everything goes wrong? I mean, seriously, if you're watching a show and a character gets completely flattened into a literal pancake by a massive falling anvil, why does your brain just accept it? It feels totally normal to us, right? We don't freak out, we just laugh. But why on earth is that totally impossible action perfectly fine to our brains?
Well, here's the secret, the really crucial point. Cartoons do not copy reality. They compress it and they exaggerate it. It's kind of like peeling back the first layer of an onion. Cartoons are actually using reality as a language to deliver feelings and comedy way faster than a live-action movie ever could. Think of a massive building like the Minari, Pakistan, right? If you stand right up close to it, all you see are the tiny details of the stone. But if you step way back, you see the beautiful sweeping shape of the whole monument. Cartoons basically step back. They erase all those extra boring physical details and just sketch out the exact parts your brain needs to instantly get the joke.
And that brings us to this really cool difference between physical truth, like could this actually happen in the real world, and emotional truth, which is, does this feel like the right reaction? If a character is shocked, a real-life actor might, gasp or raise their eyeballs, but in a cartoon, their jaw literally drops to the floor and their eyeballs pop out on springs. Now, physically real? No way. But emotionally, that feeling is instantly readable. Cartoons choose emotional rules over physical rules every single time, simply because emotion travels to our brains so much faster. Think about something we use every single day. Texting. Imagine getting a simple text message from a friend. Just the word, okay, with a tiny little period at the end. It's tiny, right? But man, depending on the context, that little lowercase okay can carry massive emotional weight. It could mean they're totally chill, or it could mean they're incredibly annoyed with you. Cartoons do the exact same thing. They take a tiny, everyday feeling and they stretch it out huge to completely enlarge the emotion behind it. What's really fascinating is that all these impossible actions, they aren't just random chaos. Characters stretching out like rubber bands, impacts that are incredibly loud but somehow totally harmless, huge reactions, bending time itself for a joke. This is actually a system of promises. It's basically like playing a board game. A board game has its own special rules that you, as the player, just learn to trust. You can't move your piece 10 spaces just because you feel like it, right? You follow the rules of the board. And once we, the audience, learn the rules of a cartoon world, we stop asking if it's realistic, and we just start enjoying the brilliant logic of the game. So the real trick here is this. Exaggeration is like underlining a sentence. Turning a character bright red with actual steam whistling out of their ears, that isn't just a funny decoration. It's the animator taking a giant red marker and underlining the emotion so you notice it first. They're adding detail to the feeling while completely removing detail from the physics. Basically, they're making an invisible feeling completely, 100% visible. You can think of this exactly like emojis. A bright yellow, laughing emoji isn't a literal, real human face. Nobody in the real world looks exactly like that. But when you get one in a text, it makes the tone of the message completely unmistakable, doesn't it? Cartoon logic works the exact same way. It isn't trying to replace reality, it's an instant emotional shortcut to make absolutely sure you know exactly how that character feels. Let's actually break down the mechanics of a joke, step by step. A solid joke usually needs 3 pieces. First, the setup. This builds an expectation. Second, the tension. This makes you predict what's going to happen next. And third, the reversal. This completely breaks that expectation in a surprising way. Realism in live action can sometimes kind of hide these pieces, but cartoon logic brilliantly exposes them by making that unexpected reversal visually explosive. The character doesn't just say they're mad, the joke lands perfectly when they literally inflate like a balloon and pop. And this exaggerated logic, it actually helps build character perfectly. Because look, not every character breaks the rules the same way. If a character has a huge, wild reaction to a tiny event, it immediately suggests panic or drama, right? But what about a really small reaction to a huge, catastrophic event? Well, that instantly shows stubbornness or toughness. Different characters can react to the exact same physics-breaking event in totally different ways. The way an animator draws a character's body bending actually reveals their hidden inner personality. It's so smart! And what's really cool is how the environment itself gets in on the act. Take this brilliant visual metaphor from a Pakistani animated ad. In it, an ordinary exam paper is drawn to look absolutely massive to a student, while the room around them shrinks down. Physically, obviously, it's just a normal piece of paper. But the environment is actively reflecting the student's inner fear. The world itself agrees with the feeling. It's such an incredible storytelling tool.
So, the absolutely crucial point of everything we've talked about today is simply this. Cartoon logic is the art of making the impossible readable. Switching from physical rules to emotional rules doesn't create chaos, it actually reduces confusion. It takes an inner truth, gives it a visible, exaggerated shape, pushes it through perfect comic timing, and turns it into something you understand instantly.
I want to wrap up with a question to leave you with. Next time a character stretches, freezes, or just completely explodes, ask yourself, what feeling is that exaggeration making visible? I challenge you to stop just passively watching cartoons and start actively reading the brilliant storytelling system underneath. Because once you see this secret language, it completely stops feeling random and starts feeling beautifully, perfectly deliberate. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and keep your eyes open.